This #1 mistake is costing you $50,000. Hi guys, I'm Kenny. In my former job, I deal with data analysis, and the skill that I learned, I actually brought this into real estate to help my clients sell the place at a higher price compared to their competitors, and also to guide my buyers when it comes to purchasing and how we can find a safe entry price for them to enter. I've spoken to many HDB owners and they didn't know about this thing before they purchase their HDB. So resale levy is applicable for us when we buy a HDB, but it comes in condition. So if you are someone, you buy, for example, BTO, okay, you buy a resale with CPF housing grant, or you buy an EC from developer or DBSS, or you had like M block previously, for example, resale levy is applicable to us depending on the room sizes that we have. So just now I mentioned what counts as a subsidized housing. So we have the BTO or sales of balance flat. They're all counted as direct HDB purchase. So resale with grant, if you have bought your first resale HDB and you took up the CPF housing grant, this is counted as one-time subsidized housing. So every Singaporean is given two chances. We can either BTO twice, or we can buy a resale HDB with grant and then BTO. Or the second one can be like, you buy an EC, for example, also can. Or you can buy EC, wait for MOP, sell off, and do the wait out period, and then you buy another EC again. Also possible. So DBSS flat now no more. Okay, there's no more DBSS flat. EC, like I mentioned. And then if you have like SIRS or other benefits, or last time, long time ago, there's this HUDC. All these are also counted as subsidized housing. So when do you need to pay for this resale levy? So when you book your second subsidized housing, so previously I mentioned, if you are staying in your BTO and then you BTO again and you got it, then you have to pay for this resale levy. So resale levy amount is locked in when you book your second subsidized flat. So if you collect your keys first and then sell your house after, because there's a 6 months period for us to sell our property, right? The resale levy will be deducted from the sales proceeds. So if you sell your flat before the key collection, you have to make sure that this amount you don't go and spend it away, because you have to pay it back to HDB if you ever apply for BTO or you apply for EC or other subsidized housing. So we have two different scenarios that I mentioned previously, but there's one very important thing you have to take note. If your sale proceeds is insufficient to cover the full levy amount, you must pay the shortfall in cash. We cannot use CPF, cannot take loan, cannot nothing, only cash. Okay. So in this case, what usually happen here? This is what we call the negative sale. Negative sale comes when your selling price, for example, 600,000. Okay. After minusing off your outstanding loan, minus off your CPF OA that you use for this property. So after minus away the outstanding loan and the amount of CPF that you use for this property, right? Sometimes it might be a negative number. For example, negative 100,000. Because most of the time we forget that the CPF, there's this thing called accrued interest. So it will keep rolling and rolling and rolling. And this often happens to people who hold on to their HDB for 20 years after buying in the resale market and the price hasn't gone up too much, okay? And because the price hasn't gone up too much, you don't have the profit to actually offset this kind of interest. So therefore, we will have a negative sale. And in this case, you have to pay for the resale levy in cash. So this is very, very important, and I always tell my clients to make sure that the numbers are right before we take any step further. Okay, so next one is, you sold before key collection. You sold your place, then you wait maybe 10 years, 20 years later, then you think about, okay, maybe I want to BTO again, I want to buy an EC again. Okay, you forget that last time you had this resale levy before. Okay, then now you want to get a government subsidized housing, then that's when you'll be hit with this kind of problem, because you forget to save this amount previously, and then now you have to add this additional amount into this. So this will be a headache for many if they didn't plan the finances correctly. So again, only cash or flat sale proceeds only. Okay. No CPF fund, no housing loan, okay, no only personal savings or other choices, okay. So this is the levy amount for the flats, okay. So depending on our room type, for example, 2 room, 15,000, okay, 3 room, 30,000, 4 room, 40,000, 5 room, 45,000, so on and so forth. So do take note, this is the levy amount for the property sold after March 2006. So if you sold your property before 2006 and you after 20 years later think that I want to BTO again, I want to take an EC again, wholesale, because if, for example, you sold your 5 room last time, 500k, okay, and then you forget about it. You took the money, you go and travel everything, you spend everything already. So now they ask you, you have to pay up 25% of what you sold previously. So if we sold at 500,000, 25% is how much? 125,000, and this has to be in cash. If we have, then it's good news. If we don't have, then we probably need to reduce our budget, or you think of other ways to do about this. Okay, so this is the kind of thing that a lot of people miss out when they don't know about this resale levy. Okay, so when it comes to buying your first HDB, okay, if you can take a BTO, you are very lucky, you got a ballot, you got a unit, go for it. Don't keep waiting and waiting and waiting, because BTO, right, the years to build is minimum 3 years. And you need to wait for MOP 5 years. And for new ones like those PLH, right, it's about 10 years. So you happen to get a ballot number and you can get a unit. Any unit will do. So far the BTOs, right, I've never seen one lose money before. Okay, so in the current market, we are expecting about 300,000 in profit, even for a 4-room, 5-room. It's about this kind of range, 300,000 or around there. It's quite healthy. You see, you can upgrade to your next place easily. You can upgrade from a 4-room to a 5-room easily without forking out any other cash. So some people, when they ask me, I buy a resale, I want to take the CPF housing grant, I want to reduce the load on myself, I want to pay lesser mortgage every month. But do note that if you are taking CPF grant, right, it will go into our OA account and essentially pay for the HDB. Okay, the more you take, the more accrued interest we incur. Okay, meaning to say, if this resale HDB is not earning much in the future, it only goes up about 20k, 30k in the future, how is it going to cover your interest? We might end up getting negative sale, because we also have loan interest to pay for. So in this case, I would usually advise my clients to go for a resale without grants, if possible. I understand it's a bit tight on the money installments, but if the calculations are right, we can plan it smoothly and make sure that maybe you can last with your current reserve, you can last longer. And with your current reserve, probably in the CPF or cash, right, you can last longer, maybe about 3 years, 4 years, without having to fork out much from your own savings also. So these are some of the things that I always tell my clients, make sure the numbers are correct before we move ahead. And personally, I don't think it's worth it to pay for resale levy, especially when we are buying a resale HDB. Okay, because we are actually wasting our chances for BTO. We have 2 chances for every Singaporean. You use one resale grant, 1 chance lost. Okay, you only have 1 chance left. What do you want to do? BTO again. BTO again, then you don't have any chance anymore. So if you buy your resale without grant, okay, you still have 2 chances. The next time, after 5 years, you feel that maybe you want to BTO again. Okay, BTO. Okay, BTO, you get your next place. Okay, then you get your keys ready. Then you sell your current resale HDB. Then you move in. After 5 years MOP, you feel that maybe I want to try BTO again. You BTO again. Okay, after the BTO complete, you move in. You sell a place, pay the resale levy. The resale levy is going to be deducted from your own sales proceed from your BTO, which is confirm make money one. So you don't really have to fork out any additional cash for this resale levy. So this is what I always want to tell my clients. You see, every property is going to lock us in for at least 5 years. BTO, 8 years, 9 years easily. So we want to make sure that all this time is being taken care of, because every year that we lose, right, the lesser loan we can take. And this will jeopardize our planning for the future when it comes to property. Okay, so the first property is always the most important, and always be very serious when taking this step, because for no reason we are paying additional 40k for what, right? So if we can, try to avoid this. So this is what I've been sharing with you. So first property as a resale HDB is fine, okay, because some of us, we are not eligible for BTO, okay, it's fine. Some of us, we tried for BTO 7-8 times, or maybe 4 years, 5 years, also cannot get. It's okay, okay. We go for resale HDB, but make sure, if you can, don't take the grant, okay, because this will jeopardize what we are going for after that. Okay, this will jeopardize our chances as a Singapore citizen. We want to maximize it. Okay, so that's all for my video, and I hope you like it. If there's anything regarding buying or selling your property, feel free to contact me. Once again, I'm Kenny, and I hope to speak with you soon.